this is Erica with Northwest Edible Life. Thank you so much for coming and joining me on my Nosy Neighbor Urban Homestead and Garden Tour. I'm going to show you around my garden and you can see what we've got going on here. This is the chicken coop. I've done a few posts about it before, so I think you guys have already seen it in pretty good detail. But here it is. It's sort of the first thing you see as you walk into the garden from the house. The girls are all lined up here by the coop. They're expecting some kind of treat. Okay, where's my leftover scrambled eggs or leftover rice or something? You normally bring me something when you show up here. It's gotten kind of late, and I believe the chickens are roosting, and I just want to open up the egg door and show you how my 6 pullets roost. Yeah, there they are. All 6 of them in one nesting box. Yep, you were all in there, weren't ya? So next on our tour is the greenhouse. My greenhouse is about 6 feet by 8 feet. And I just cram it full of stuff. Let's take a look. I'm growing gypsy peppers in here. You can see there's basil up in the front of the greenhouse. I've got black plastic mulch down to keep the soil a little bit warmer. So on the north side of the greenhouse, I've got lettuce leaf basil, more gypsy peppers, and then behind the peppers, I'm growing cucumbers. And you can see they go up, and then they turn the corner, and they run all the way up to the peak of the greenhouse. So I really do try and maximize every single cubic inch of space that I can in here. Yeah, there's a cucumber right there, just about ready to pick. I've got a couple about that size. So tomorrow I think we're gonna have some Greek salad. Okay, so we're moving on to the main garden area now. The main garden area consists of 12 4x8 raised beds, plus one 4x8 bed that currently is in raspberries. It's like a sea of PVC hoops. I'm a big fan of season extension techniques. I've been harvesting zucchini for quite a while, just harvested my first beans, so getting a jump start on things really makes a big difference in my opinion. These are my beans. I've got Helda Romano beans on the left and I think Blue Lake Pole on the right. And you can see that I've got one sunflower that's in bloom. I've got some nice size Romano beans here. I just picked a bunch for dinner. They were fantastic. I'm really impressed with this variety, Helda, and how quickly they germinated and shot to the top of my like 8-foot tall trellis here. I often will plant beds with a little bit of an eye to how they look as they mature. I don't always do a great job, but this is a bed that I think is rather pretty. I've got 3 fall cabbages growing down the center, and they're going to size up and fill up that whole center area. And then I've got a couple of different types of beets forming a rectangle around that, and lettuces on each of the ends. So I think it's kind of pretty. I throw nasturtiums in everywhere. I just love them. They don't ask anything. They're a great catch crop for aphids. They're edible. Bees love them. They add a nice little punch of color. You can kind of tuck a few in the corner and then they just tumble out of the way and don't take up space for your food crops. I think they're one of my favorite flowers for a vegetable garden. And here is a bed of my favorite vegetable, kale. Kale is the plant that will not let you down, man. When we have weather like this and nothing else seems to go right, kale is my best friend. I like chard almost as much as I like kale, so I grow a full bed of it every year. And this year, I gotta say, it's been a rough year for the chard. It's just not sizing up the way it did last year. So this is my bed of Walla Wallas, interplanted with some carrots and some radishes that have gone to seed. And I just have to stop for a minute and brag because I think this is the nicest onion I have ever grown in my life. I'm going to put my hand up here so you can see how big this thing is. That is a hefty onion. It's really, really nicely sized up. The rest of them seem okay too, but that's my prize winner. Also in this bed, it's my new favorite weird edible, radish seed pods. My little camera is notoriously bad at focusing, but I hope you can see that. These pods are so cool. Do you like my gardener nail biter nails? Super hot. But they're really tasty. Yum. I like them better than radishes. From now on, I'm going to grow radishes just so I can harvest these seed pods. This is one of my fall beds. This has Melissa cabbage and Franklin Brussels sprouts growing in it. I just Planted this last night or the night before with some starts that I started in June sometime. Here's another bed of fall stuff. This is turnips and rutabagas and undifferentiated brassica seedlings at this point. This is some fall broccoli. You can see I've got the plastic over it and I've got some straw mulch down. My biggest problem with these guys is just keeping the slugs away from them. I actually have lost a few already to slugs, which is, I'm not going to say devastating, but it definitely doesn't make me happy. This is another pretty bed in my opinion. This is 4 bush delicata squash, and I've got some calendula growing on the ends. I think there's a few nasturtiums in there too, but calendula is another one of my favorite flowers. This is the great Father's Day fly netting device that Nick, the homebrew husband, built for me. Such a sweet man. I've got carrots and parsnips coming up under there, and the crops that are under there seem to be doing really well. So I'm hoping that I get autumn carrots and parsnips that are unaffected by the carrot maggot.